There's a special kind of rage that builds in you when someone treats your child like a networking opportunity, like they're a talking point for a LinkedIn post or a line in a wedding toast. I didn't know that kind of fury until recently, but now I breathe it. My brother Logan has always been the human equivalent of a cologne ad, all flash, no substance. He doesn't steal wallets or rob banks. He robs people of patience, trust, and second chances. For 42 years, he's coasted on charm, flashing that grin like it's a Platinum X. Meanwhile, I've been the one who takes things too seriously. Code for the one woe sees through our parents. Oh, they lapped it up. Logan could insult a nun and they'd find a way to blame her for not having a sense of humor. That's just Logan. They'd coup, right? That's just Logan being a narcissist with a trust fund and a solid PR game. Me. I chose a different route. Built a life based on something real. Earned my degrees. Became a pediatric development specialist. Met Declan, an architect, who cares more about how a space feels to someone in a wheelchair than how sexy the angles look on paper. Declan and I didn't fall in love like they do in Nicholas Sparks novels. We grew into each other like ivy climbing the same wall. The parental approval only showed up when they realized Declan came from old money. Not flashy yacht party money, but the kind where the family donates anonymously and no one talks about it. Suddenly, my boring husband became a good catch. Funny, how deep pockets cure remarkable personalities. We wanted kids desperately, but God, the road there was brutal. 5 years off fertility treatments, the kind that turned me into a pincushion and left us both emotionally threadbare. 2 miscarriages that gutted me. Hormone injections that made me feel like I was aging 10 years a month. And Logan, this walking punchline shows up at Christmas, claps me on the back. Anzies, hey, maybe you two should just get a dog. Less paperwork. I swear I saw Declan's jaw clench so hard he almost cracked a mare. But I just smiled and kept my mouth shut. That's what I'd been trained to do. Then came May, our little firecracker. After our 4th and final round of IVF, swore it would be our last. She arrived, tiny, fierce, and perfect. Her birth tore through the fog of grief like sunlight. For the first time in years, we breathed. She was sharp as a whip, but around 18 months, the babbling never came. Nothing. She understood everything. You could see it in her eyes, but the words were stuck somewhere between her brain and mouth. As a pediatric specialist, I knew. At 2, we got the diagnosis. Childhood aroxia of speech. Her brain knew what she wanted to say, but her muscles wouldn't follow orders. So, I went full mama bear. Quit my job, co-founded a therapy clinic with another firm, started taking on more inclusive design work. Schools, playgrounds, therapy centers. We built a world around May where communication was to battle, just a different journey. Every day, we helped her fight for her voice. That's probably a good place to tell you who I am. I'm Daphne. I'm 39, white, and I co-direct a pediatric therapy clinic in Portland that specializes in early intervention and neurodivergent care. I'm methodical as hell, compassionate to meet core, and according to the last coworker who underestimated me, absolutely terrifying when pissed off. I'll own that, especially now. Logan, he acted like Araya was something you could catch through eye contact. If we showed up at family events, he suddenly became very interested in his phone. He never once asked how May was doing, what her AAC device did, or even pretended to give a damn. She was just invisible to him. Then came Alina Witt, blonde, beautiful, born with a trust fund, but didn't let it rot her soul. She runs a non-profit called Bridgeloom, that makes educational tech for special needs kids. Her nephew is nonverbal and autistic. She talks a little about it with this quiet grace that makes you feel seen. She's what Logan pretends to be when he's trying to impress a room full of afternooners. He met her at some gala because of course he did. And suddenly Logan's Instagram became a shrine to inspirational journeys and hashtags about neurodiversity. He posted old-ass photos with May that he must have dug out from the digital gravered. My brave niece teaches me something new every day. Lost Jazz Uncle, Life Japrea Awareness. Barfy started name-dropping my clinic and finance bro circles, like he was out here curing disorders. Quoting research. He definitely skimmed off WebMD, 5 minutes before meetings. Rehearsed empathy. It was like watching a man cosplay as a decent human being. And Elena, she bought it, hook, line, and wedding ring. She was sweet to May, genuinely sent her gifts that were sensory friendly, recorded a few bedtime mysteries in her voice, even visited my clinic once and asked real questions, listened to the answers. That's the part that made it all so much worse. Because was real, she cared. And she was falling for my brother, the human smokescreen. Last week, they announced they'd be engaged in 2 months. The wedding is set for the week after, and me. I've been pacing this moral crossroads for weeks. Do I just let it go? Let him scam this good woman into a lifetime of being the emotional support system for his ego, or do I tell her, warn her? The part of me trained by decades of being told to be nice, wanted to stay quiet. But the other part, the part that held May while she sobbed because her mouth wouldn't make the sound she wanted. That part wanted to flip the table and scream. He's using my daughter as a prop to get laid and land a philanthropic wife. I didn't want to be the villain in Elena's fairy tale, but I also wasn't about to let my daughter's pain be weaponized for my brother's gain. So now I'm here staring down this giant question mark. Do I stay quiet and let the wedding happen, hoping she figures him out in time? Or do I tell her? And if I do, will anyone believe me? Because I don't want to be the villain in someone else's love story. But I'm terrified that if I didn't speak up, I'm handing my daughter's story to someone who never earned it. Update 1. The overhead light in my car has been on for 20 minutes. Engine off. The street's quiet. I'm parked 1 block away from my own damn house because if I walk in right now, I'm pretty sure I'll throw my lacrosse through a window. My understanding husband, Declan, let me take my moment and most probably is putting May to bed. Thank God for that man. And I'm just sitting here in the dark, trying not to come unglued. Tonight was the engagement party. 2 months of holding my breath, pretending I wasn't watching my brother stage manage a fairy tale built on my kids' trauma. 2 months of wondering, could I be wrong? Maybe people change. Maybe love actually does thaw out, even the sickest of nope. Tonight proved what I've always known deep down. Logan hasn't changed. He's just gotten better at hiding the rot. The last 8 weeks have been Logan's personal TED Talk on how to fake empathy. He bought May a telescope that could probably pick up Elon Musk's next bad idea from the stratosphere, a custom puzzle with all our faces on it. He called once to check in on her therapy and made sure to pronounce Araxia, right progress, I guess. And May's heart is wide open. She started calling him my cool uncle, and it gutted me. Watching her get pulled into his orbit, not knowing he's the kind of man who sees people as props. It made my skin crawl. Declan and I just kept smiling because we didn't want to dim her light. We didn't want to turn her joy into suspicion. But God, it felt like watching a fox sweet talk a henhouse. Now Alina, I never had doubts about her. She's golden. On a shopping trip, she talked more about her autistic nephew, Malik, and how he loves the rhythm of ceiling fans. She didn't sound like someone who tolerated neurodivergence. She sounded like someone who loved deeply and without pity. She made me want her in May's life. Hell, in mine, too, which made Logan's charade even more vile. Like using holy water to wash blood off your hands. The party tonight was some real great Gatsby cosplay downtown hotel ballroom. String quartet. Champagne flutes taller than my patience. Logan worked the room like he was accepting a Lifetime Achievement Award. Had one arm around Elena's waist, and Theodore outstretched, accepting handshakes like he cured Araxia himself. Then came the toasts, and out of nowhere, Elena leaned down to May and whispered, "Would you like to say something?" My whole damn heart stopped. May's been working on a little speech with her therapist and my best friend, Serena, in secret, for weeks. She was nervous, so nervous, but determined. Declan and I flanked her as she walked up to the mic. The room fell silent. She took a shaky breath and started. Each word was like dragging a stone uphill, but she got them out. "Uncle Logan plays games with me," she said. Her little voice trembled, but held steady. "He loves my drawings. He's cool. Alina is nice. I'm proud." 20 words, maybe 30 seconds, but it was monumental. She climbed Everest tonight. The applause was thunderous. Elena wrapped May in a huge hug. And Logan, oh, he clutched his chest and got misty-eyed like he was about to dedicate his Oscar to the children of the world. For a second, and I mean a second, I felt something crack in me. Like maybe I was wrong. Maybe this was growth. Spoiler, I wasn't wrong. About 20 minutes later, I was heading to the bathroom when I heard laughter from this little tucked-away alcove. Logan's voice, loud and fake as hell. I paused. "Can you believe that?" he was saying, and then he pitched his voice high and slow, mocking May's exact speech pattern. "Uncle Logan, I play the stars." He exaggerated the slurring, the pauses, the struggle. My blood turned to acid. His two finance brothers burst out laughing. One clapped him on the back. "Dude, you've got the patience of a Santo, deal with that." And Logan just shrugged like it was no big deal. "It's all part of the package. Man, Tekid gets me in with the family. A small price to pay." I froze, my ears rang. My body locked up, and the next moment, Logan found me standing. I was going to charge in. I wanted to scream, scratch his carefully gelled face off, but then a hand touched my elbow. Declan somehow, he'd come looking. He took one look at him and just knew. "Don't," he whispered. "Not here, not in front of Alina, not in front of everyone." And he was right. Logan's been writing this narrative for years. I'm the cold sister. The uptight one. Too emotional, too dramatic. A scene would only prove his story true to all the people who didn't know him the way I do. So, we found May, who was blissfully devouring a cupcake, told Alina she was getting sleepy, and left. No drama, no scene, just extraction. An hour ago, I got a text. "You really going to bail on my engagement party over a stupid joke? Seriously, Daff, don't raise her to be so fragile. It's the real world. Fragile." He mocked my daughter's disability. A disability she wakes up and battles every goddamn day. And we're the fragile ones. So now I'm here, parked outside my house, shaking from the kind of rage that doesn't even feel loud anymore. It's just cold, steady, surgical. I played nicely. I said nothing. I let him pretend, and he still did this. Now, I don't know what the next move is, but I do know I'm done hoping he'll reveal himself because he already has. And someone like Alina deserves to know who she's really marrying. Question is, how do I tear off his mask without becoming the villain in his twisted little story? Update 2. I've been sitting with this for a month. A full heavy soul-curdling month. The kind where you wake up already bracing for whatever fire needs sputting out today. Yeah, Alina married Logan, and newsflash, Declan and I decided not to be a part of it. Of course, it again made meth villain in my parents' eyes, but I couldn't be part of an event where my daughters mocked. My last post that was written in pure vibrating rage from the front seat of my SUV. This one's coming from the same place. But colder, sharper, because I tried to do the right thing. I tried to warn someone I genuinely respected before she signed her life away to a man. I've spent 39 years watching fake empathy like it's an Olympic sport, and I blew it hard. It started with a newsletter. One of those careful donor slick updates from Bridgebloom. The nonprofit Elena runs. Apparently, Logan, my piece of work brother, secured a $100,000 donor match from who? Ella Lenina's father, the almighty Dr. Carl Whitlow himself. There was a quote from Logan in there, too, said something about his personal connection to the cause and how his inspirational niece may taught him the meaning of resilience. I read that sentence 3 times before. I felt the heat climb up my neck. The same man who once mimicked my daughter's speech disorder for laughs at his engagement party is now calling her Heis inspiration. The same man who never once asked about her therapy before Atlanta entered the picture. Something inside me snapped. That slow-burning measured part of me went offline, and the mother roared to life. I went into my office, pulled up my clinic's official letterhead, and wrote a letter, 2 pages, every word aimed straight at the truth. I detailed Logan's apathy, his cruelty, and his phony transformation. I described verbatim the conversation I overheard at the engagement party. I listed the names of the 2 finance brothers who laughed along with him. I framed it like a warning, not out of pettiness, out of a need to protect Alina, her family, Bridgebloom's integrity. Hell, anyone who might believe his act. And I didn't send it to Alina. I sent it to Bridgebloom's oversight board and CCED, her father that most probably went into his spam because he never saw it. Thought it would carry more weight coming from my professional desk than my personal frustration. What happened next? Absolute carnage for me. Instead of investigating Logan, they came for me. First, got slapped with a formal ethics complaint. They said I violated profession conduct. Using clinic resources for a personal vendetta, discussing a child, my own daughter, but still in a non-clinical context. I was dragged in front of my own clinic's board, the same clinic and yeah, I came this close to losing Millicent's. My business partner, livid, rightfully so. I blindsided her. I acted like a steamroller on fire, and now she had to pick up the PR pieces while I sat there looking like the angry, unhinged sister out for revenge. Logan, of course, got to know this through his sources and milked the situation like it was a damn cow. He told everyone I was bitter and jealous, that I'd always resented him and hated his success. He sold that story so well, you'd think he practiced it in the mirror. And my family, they ate it up. My mother called me and used the same line she's been weaponizing since. The third grade. Daphne, you've always taken things too personally. Then came the follow-up. It was just a joke. You're going to ruin this family with your drama. Cool. So, my brother mocks my daughter's disability, and I'm the problem. Got it. Only Declan and Serena stood by me. Everyone else either ghosted or outright blamed me. Alina, I haven't heard a word from her. According to my very awkward grapevine, she's confused and hurt, but standing by her man. Of course she is. She thinks she's married a hero. All I did was hand him the script to make me the villain. And you know what? For a few days, I believed it. I felt reckless, stupid, defeated. I played right into his hands. Fought dirty, fast, and public. And Logan thrives in chaos. The messier it gets, the more he gets to play the calm, collected saint. But once the smoke cleared, something else took root. Clarity. My mistake wasn't in fighting, it was how I fought. I let emotion drive me into a brawl I was never going to win. Because I still care about the truth, and he only cares a booth image. I played chess with someone using Uno rules. He thinks he won, thinks he's neutralized me. I wasn't invited to the wedding, shocking. I know. And he's probably out there somewhere sipping champagne and basking in his own reflection. But here's the thing. I'm a therapist. I've built a career on watching patterns, on reading what people aren't saying, on waiting for the right moment to say the one thing that makes everything click. I'm not done Hewance. Me to be quiet. Good, let him think I've lost. Let him believe I've retreated because next time I move, I'm not coming in angry. I'm coming in ready. Update 3. There's a certain kind of silence that doesn't feel like peace. It feels like the pause right before a bomb drops. That's what the last 3 weeks have been. No dramatic texts, no fake apologies, no smug updates from Logan about his upcoming wedding. Just quiet. I stayed quiet too. Let him believe he'd won. Let him think I'd been boxed in, shamed, discredited, the unhinged sister who lashed out, and lost. But here's the thing. Sometimes karma doesn't kick the door down. Sometimes she slips in through the back, wearing earbuds and holding a baby monitor. Spring break apparently was her weapon of choice. 2 days ago, I got a call. Unknown number. I almost didn't pick up. I've been dodging calls from extended family ever since Logan's PR stunt turned me into the villain of the year. But something in me said, answer it. Daphne, it's Alina. Can we talk? Her voice was barely a whisper, like it hurt just to say my name. I froze, didn't even breathe. Then I grabbed my keys and locked myself in the car just in case May wandered in. What followed was worse than anything I could have imagined, and also the most brutal poetic justice I've ever seen. Turns out her 10-year-old nephew, Malik, came to stay with them for spring break. I believe I've mentioned him in my other posts too. He's autistic and nonverbal. Elena's sister, a single mom, had an urgent official trip. And Elena had talked Logan up so much about how amazing he was with May that she convinced her sister it'd be okay, that Logan could handle it. Spoiler alert, heckled not. Within 2 days, Mick stopped eating, started biting his wrist, refused to sleep in the guest room Logan had thoughtfully prepared. The kid was spiraling and Elena didn't understand why until her sister called and said, "Turn on the white noise machine." Because of her sister, she's been through enough to stop trusting every oncologist because they say the right things. That machine, not just for sleep. It had a nanny cam hidden recording everything. Alina turned it on, watched the footage, and I swear her voice cracked like something inside her had shattered and would never go back together the same way again. Logan was caught on camera mocking Malik. I'm talking full-blown mimicking his sneering while flapping his hands, mocking his vocal tics, and demanding eye contact like he was trying to break him. He got on a call with one of his sleazy finance buddies and said, I'm babysitting the weirdo. This better earn me some points with Carl. Like my niece and her nephew were just stepping stones. But that wasn't even the worst part. After Malik had a small meltdown because Logan snapped a toy in front of him, that camera caught Logan muttering, Jesus, this kid is probably a future school shooter. I wish I could say I was surprised. Alina, she didn't scream. She didn't throw things. She waited until Logan left fourth gym, packed her bags and Malik's, drove to her sister's place, and from the kitchen table, filed for divorce. Cold, efficient, done. And then she called me. She cried, apologized over and over for not believing me, for defending him, for playing right into his hands. I told her what I've wanted to scream at every single person who ever looked at me like I was just too intense about Logan. He's good at this. He builds the lie around you like scaffolding until you start to think you're the problem. But she didn't just call to apologize. She called with a mission. He tried to ruin your career, Tozalansu. She said he psychologically tormented my nephew. He lied to my father to get his money. Are you ready to help me show everyone? And I'm Minaverion, who he really is? I didn't hesitate. My hands were shaking, but my voice came out steady. Absolutely. So, now we're here. Reddit. The tables have turned. Elena's not broken anymore. She's pissed. She's got receipts. She's got the camera footage. She's got the donor documents. And, now she's got me, the sister who knows all the skeletons in his walk-in closet. Logan thinks silence means surrender. He's about to learn silence was just the sound of a storm gathering. Update 4. I didn't expect poetic justice to come with spreadsheets and boardroom silence, but here we are. It's been 1 week since Elena called. It has been 1 week since her voice cracked in my ear full of betrayal and fury, and asked if I was ready to help her destroy the illusion she once mistook for a man. It has been 1 week since Logan's mask finally slipped off in front of the only people who mattered. Let me just say this wasn't some dramatic Reddit-style revenge fantasy with screaming matches and public meltdowns. Oh no, we went classy, clinical, lethal. Welcome to the Logan Whitlow Implosion Tour. Co-headlined by me, Daphne, methodical and deeply petty when crossed, Alina, his now soon-to-be ex-wife and frankly a powerhouse, my civil rights attorney, Bestie, Serena, and the retired neuroscientist she calls Dad, also known as the man who cut Logan's career off at the knees with a single phone call. First move. Alina sat her father down and showed him the nanny cam footage. No explanations, no spin, just the raw reality. Her nephew Malik, 10 years old, nonverbal autistic, was being mocked and tormented by Logan in what he thought was a private moment. Dr. Whitlow is usually calm. The kind of man who thinks in long. Alina said when he saw the clip, his expression didn't change much. But the next morning, he quietly pulled every cent of his multi-million-dollar investment from Logan's firm. No press release, no drama, just a few decisive calls to his colleagues in the finance and nonprofit world explaining why that ripple turned into a wave within 48 hours. Second move. Alina and I took that fire and redirected it into something with the funds her father pulled from Logan's firm. We, with my husband's support, launched a new initiative, Project Echo. It's built to empower neurodivergent voices in advocacy and communication. Tech-led neurodivergent individuals for their own communities. My clinic is now formally partnered with Bridgebloom, and Alina and I are co-directors of the campaign. When we made the announcement, it went out to every corner of the nonprofit and therapeutic space. And while we never named names, anyone with half a brain could read between the lines. The woman Logan tried to discredit professionally is now leading the very movement he used to climb up. Third move. Serena took the video evidence and filed for a permanent restraining order on behalf of Malik's mom and me. I even wanted Logan's shadow far away from my daughter's existence. It was granted on the spot. Public record, unmissable. Then came the fallout like clockwork. My clinic got an invite to keynote at a National Pediatric Therapy Conference, an event I'd sternly blacklisted from 6 months ago. Turns out Logan had nudged a sponsor to block me. That block gone. The keynote hours. 3 of Logan's biggest clients, all major names in philanthropy, dropped his firm like a hot rock. Turns out, when the man behind the glossy speeches about inclusion is caught mocking a neurodivergent kid on camera, people get uncomfortable attaching their brand to him. Yesterday, Logan's managing partner called him in, offered to buy out his shares at a reduced price to cut their PR losses. From what I've heard, the office fridge is colder than Antarctica. No more backslaps, just silence. It wasn't a bomb. It was a series of pinpricks everyone placed with precision. And we didn't scream. We didn't grandstand. We just let the truth breathe. Turns out that's all it needed. And me. My hands are clean. I didn't leak the footage. I didn't send emails to clients. I didn't even push Anaha just picked up the phone when she called. I just listened. And when she said, "Help me," I said, "Yes." But guess who's blowing up my phone now? My parents on a guilt-ridden loop of voicemails and texts, not asking if I'm okay. Not saying sorry for not believing for defending Logan while I nearly lost my career. No. They want me to fix it. To call Alina, smooth it over for the family's reputation. Funny, isn't it? The same people who told me I was being dramatic now want me to be the peacemaker. They still don't get it. This was never about vengeance. I wasn't trying to ruin Logan. I was trying to warn them. I tried to protect a child. I tried to speak up before it got worse, but no one listened. And now the silence is broken. And all that's left is the sound of Logan's empire crumbling brick by brick under the weight of his own damn words. Final update. Some silences don't feel peaceful. They feel like the sharp edge of a knife. After the cut, that's what it's been like these past few weeks. Not calm, just quiet in a way that makes you realize the war is over. 'Cause there's no one left to fight. It's been a month. Just enough time for the dust to settle, for people to pick sides, for the wreckage to become part of the scenery, and for me to finally stop clenching my jaw in my sleep. My parents, still clinging to their delusions like barnacles on a sinking ship. My mom called again, sobbing so hard she could barely breathe. Think of the family's reputation, she choked out. Please, Daphne, ask Elena to be merciful. I guess, my parents will never see me trample their golden child, Logan, even if he is at fault. Well, good for them, 'cause I hardly feel any empathy left in me for them. I didn't scream, didn't snap, just stood there. Declan behind me, steady and quiet like he always is, his hand on my shoulder. I said, no, I will not. His actions did this, not me. Then I hung up. No fanfare, no dramatics. Just done. Logan tried. Two emails. We need to talk, and you've ruined my life. I deleted both without opening them. His words, useless now. There's nothing left to say. And I don't owe Hyman a breath of acknowledgement. That's the actual win, isn't it? I didn't need to ruin him. I just stopped covering for him. And the rest unraveled like a bad stitch. But this post, it's not about Logan's downfall anymore. It's about my daughter, May's rise. Last week was her school's Voices of the Future event. She'd been prepping for weeks, working on every single word with her therapist, in Serena. She stepped up to that podium like a damn warrior. Chin up, shoulders back, and then she hit play on her AAC device. Her voice, synthetic but powerful, rang out. Sometimes people hear my words late, but my words are strong and they are mine. Every person in that auditorium stood up. Some clapped, some cried. I did both. I don't think I've ever felt anything like that kind of pride. It was like my entire soul was standing up with her. After the applause died down, Elena, who had turned out to be my close friend over time, and wanted to be cheerleader for May in this event, leaned over and whispered something that made my blood turn to ice. The day before the event, Logan had shown up uninvited, tried to corner her outside her apartment. At first, he was all crocodile tears and shaking hands, begging her to just fix this. But when she refused, he dropped the mask. According to Alina, his voice went flat and cold. If you go through with the case, you'll regret it. I'll make damn sure of that. Lucky for her, her father and his bodyguard had just pulled up. They caught the tail end of Logan's meltdown. And let's just say the bodyguard did what a lifetime of family excuses never managed. He made Logan finally shut the hell up. Elena's dad dragged him straight to the police, still clutching his bruised ego and bleeding lip. Later that night, Ada Courier dropped off a package. Inside, a framed photo of the Lyra constellation and a handwritten note from Alina. Thank you for showing me what strong really looks like. Now people call me for advice. My clinic's growing. I'm giving the Kano Tethet Logan tried to block. And May, my fierce little star, is now the face of a new statewide inclusive education campaign funded by Project Echo. As for Logan, from what I hear, he's still running his mouth behind closed doors. Only now he's surrounded by empty chairs and people who won't meet his eye. Well, old habits die hard. The man who mocked voices now has none worth listening to. He's a ghost, a cautionary tale, a name people whisper with a wee see. And finally, they all believe me. As for me, I'm not finished, not even close. I feel like I'm just getting started.